everyone, it's Rhonda and welcome to a new video. Today I am going to use my TBR prompt Cauldron to help me pick which books I plan to read in October. So you guys know how this video works. I'm going to pick about 5 or 6 prompts out of this Cauldron, and then I'm going to pick one book off of my TBR cart based off each of those prompts. And I love doing these videos, they're fun. You guys love watching them, and I thought we would switch it up a little bit, and I dusted off my Cauldron from last Halloween and I put all my prompts in here. Before we get into picking my TBR, I do want to talk about some books that I plan to read in October. First, I am in an in-person book club here in my neighborhood, and the book that they picked for October is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, and I'm not excited about this book. This was a book that I just really was not interested in reading this year. I know a lot of people have loved it. It did get a little bit popular after it was released, but I think that this is not going to be a book I enjoy because I think it's going to be a little too slow for me. But because it is part of this book club, and if I want to participate this month, I kind of need to read it. And I do have a question for you guys. If you have read this and if you think I'm going to enjoy it, please let me know in the comments what you thought about this book. I'm really going in with very, very low expectations. I'm hoping I will enjoy it. Usually if I go in with low expectations, that really helps me enjoy a book. But let me know what you thought about this book and if you think I will enjoy it. And then next up, in regards to any new releases that are coming out in October, I did do a fall new release video back at the end of August, I believe, and I came up with about 30 books that I was curious about or I was interested in. Some of them were going to be must reads. And for October, there wasn't a ton. There are 2 books that are kind of on my radar. And actually one of them I do plan on reading, and that one is Kit St. Clair's Last Dance by Kate Robb. That one comes out on October 7th. And I plan to read that one. I have a NetGalley digital copy of this one, so I'm going to absolutely read it. And I've read other books by this author, and for the most part, I have enjoyed them. They're all 3 stars and up. But I think I'm going to really enjoy this because of the magical realism, and I think it's going to be a little heartwarming and endearing, and I can't wait to read it. And then the other book I want to read is, don't laugh at me, but it's called Kooky Spooky Love by Josie Silver. That one comes out on October 28th, and I just read Cozy Spooky Love this month. I haven't done my September wrap-up video yet, but I just read that one in September and I actually really enjoyed it. I was surprised how much I really enjoyed it. I think if you like the Riley Thorne series by Lucy Score, you will like this series. This whole series is going to be a contemporary romance series featuring a ghost hunter, and I had a great time reading that first book, and I do want to pick up the second book because I thought it was really cute and I want to continue with it. So those are the 3 books that I for sure want to try and get to this month. I also have books on my fall TBR I want to get to, and then I also just posted a video where I went over all of the spooky haunted house books that I would like to try to read this month. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get to everything, but there's some spooky books that are on my radar. All of these videos I've mentioned will be posted in the little eye as well as in the description in case you want to check those out. But with all of that housekeeping stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and pick my very first prompt for October. And let's mix it up real good, and let's see, which one is it going to be? I need my papers, hold on. Author's name starts with same letter as my name. So my name is Rhonda. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. And the first letter of my first name is R. So I need to go through these books and find an author whose first name also starts with an R. No. So none of these start with an R. No. Salary, no. What's this? No, it's Gabrielle 7. No. Oh, okay. This is a maybe. This is The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. And obviously I've read Fourth Wing and her Fourth Wing series, but I've only read one of her contemporary romances. I believe all of her romances feature people in the military. And this one is told in alternating timelines, and it examines the risks we take for love and the scars too deep to heal and the endings we can't bring ourselves to see coming. The other contemporary romance that I read by Rebecca Yarros is The Last Letter, and I bawled my eyes out. So if I pick this one, I will expect nothing less. But let's continue seeing what else there is on my TBR cart to see if there's something I want to read more than this one. No. Ooh, Rachel Harrison. Okay, I've been wanting to read this one. It's Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I think this is a witchy horror. It says it's a darkly funny, frightening novel about a young woman meeting a witch who might be too good to be true. This would be perfect for October because it's going to be like a witchy, spooky read. And I think that is all I have on this bottom shelf. So yeah, these are the only two books that have an author's first name that starts with an R. We have Rachel Harrison and Rebecca Yarros. And out of these two, I think I'm gonna go with Cackle just because, hello, October is spooky season and I've been wanting to read this. I read my first Rachel Harrison book here in September as well. I read her new release called Play Nice and I really enjoyed it. And I definitely want to get to this one. So the first book that I'm picking for the month of October is Cackle by Rachel Harrison, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to read this. I know this is only the first book that we're picking for the month, but I'm already excited about this TBR because, like I said, I've been wanting to read this one. Let's pick prompt number 2, and I think I'm going to pick a total of 6 books just like last month, just because I was leaning towards actually picking 5 because I have so many books to get to. But I just want to keep it an even number. So if I can't get to all 6 books, I can't get to all 6 books. But prompt number 2 is this one, and it reads, Something with Magical Realism. Perfect. Well, the book I'm going to read, Kitty St. Clair's Last Dance, is actually magical realism. But let's see what else we have that definitely has magical realism. We actually have a lot of options. We can go with, I've been wanting to read this one too, The Other Side of Now by Paige Harrison. And this one definitely has magical realism because we're following a woman who is an actress and she's going through some stuff and she goes on vacation to Ireland, I think. But when she goes to this town, which happens to be a town that she wanted to move to many years ago, and she didn't because she became an actress instead. But when she goes to that town, it's like she's living in an alternate reality where she never became an actress and instead she moved to this town. So this one I've been wanting to read. It sounds so interesting and I've heard really good things about it. It's Adrienne Young. Is this one magical realism? I feel like her books usually have some. I think this one is more like a mystery. We could do Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I think this one is kind of in the same realm as this book where it's kind of like the movie Sliding Doors where you're living in different realities. And this one is about a girl who she doesn't know what she wants to do with her life, and she goes out with a friend of hers and she runs into her her old high school boyfriend Ethan, and her friend's ready to go, and our female main character is trying to decide, should she stay and hang out with her old ex-boyfriend or should she go with her best friend home? So I think this is told in different realities, so you get chapters of each decision she makes. So this one sounds really interesting too. That's obviously magical realism. I'm really not seeing anything else. I mean, we could obviously go with fantasy because obviously fantasy is dealing with a little bit of magical realism. But I think I'm going to pick one of these 2 books. And out of these 2 books, I think I'm going to go with The Other Side of Now. I've heard some great things about this one, and I do still want to read this one too, but I think I want to read this one more. And also too, it is a Book of the Month book that I picked a couple of months ago, and I am actually really behind on my Book of the Month books. So the second book I'm picking in the month of October is The Other Side of Now by Paige Harrison. Prompt number 3 is, we'll go with this one. Yeah. Oh, I got 2. We'll go with this one. This one reads, Matches the Current Season. Well, we are in fall. Specifically, we're going into October, so it's spooky season, and I have lots of options. Right off the bat, I really want to read Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson because this one is actually set, at least the opening scene is set on Halloween night, and I've been wanting to read this book. I've heard amazing people are loving this book, but this is Holly Jackson's first adult thriller, and it's about a woman who is attacked on Halloween night, and when she goes to the hospital to get fixed up, they find out that she has a brain aneurysm, and her doctor tells her, as you know what, we can actually operate, but I think there's only like a 5% survival rate, or you can enjoy this last week because it's probably going to burst in a week. Enjoy this last week of your life and just wait for it to burst, basically. And so our female main character does that, and during that week she tries to solve her own murder. She tries to find the person who attacks her. And like I said, I've heard this is really good. I've heard our female main character is not the most awesome. Like I said, I've been wanting to read it. You know what? I'm actually not even going to look at any other books. I really want to read this. So prompt number 3, book number 3 for October is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. So we've already picked 3 books, and that means we're halfway through. And I'm already very excited about October's TBR because all of these books I really want to read. So I'm super excited about October. Okay, prompt number 4 is, oh, geez, these nails are too long. Come on, open. Okay. Book with magical realism. I just picked, what? Do I have 2 of these in there? Something with magic, yeah, okay, so this was an extra. I'm gonna set this one aside because we already used this prompt. I had duplicates in here and didn't realize it. Let's do take 2. Prompt number 4 is The Longest Titles. That's a good one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through these books and I'm just going to pick up the book with the longest title and read that one. And if I find books that have the same number, then we'll decide between those 2 books. So give me just a moment. Okay, so I have 2 books that both have 6 words in the book title. The first one is The Third Wife of Faraday House. And then the other book, and I don't even know how to pronounce this word, but it's the Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association. Oh, actually, this is 7 words. So I can't do the Faraday House. This is going to be the book I'm going to have to pick. But it's the Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association. And that is the entire title, 7 words. And it's by Caitlin Rozakis. And this is about a woman whose son, I think he's in kindergarten, he's bit by a werewolf. And she enrolls him into this school for fantastical beasts, I guess, and she has to deal with the PTA, and she's learning the rules of the school, and it's supposed to be kind of like a cozy fantasy, but it sounds like it's going to be really funny. And I bought this on a whim. This is a really pretty book too. Look at the sprayed edges. So cute. So book number 4 is the Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association. Let's pick prompt number 5. Let's go with this one. And please put 1 book back and draw another prompt. Okay, so let's see. So far we have the Grimoire Grammar School. Not Quite Dead Yet. I'm not putting that one back. The Other Side of Now. I really don't want to put that one back either. And Cackle. So I think I'm going to put this one back. And do I get to pick? Do a free pick? Or do I have to? Oh, it says and draw another prompt. Okay, so we're going to put that one back and draw another prompt. Well, that's fun. I mean, I wanted to read that one, but I want to read those other ones more. This prompt reads, number in the title. Okay, we can do, I know I have, oh yes, we have 13 Months by Jimmy Giuliano. We can also do Daisy Jones and the Six. Okay, so the only 2 books that I have that have a number in the title is Daisy Jones and the Six. I think we all know what this is about. This is kind of like a nod to Fleetwood Mac, and you're following through an interview this band and how they become famous and their downfall. So there's that one. And then I also have 13 Months Haunted by Jimmy Giuliano. I've been wanting to read this one. This is about a woman, I think she is a librarian at a middle school or a high school. And there's this girl who's a little bit odd, and her mom actually goes with her to school and goes with her to all of her classes. It's a very weird situation. And the librarian decides to try and help her. So I think I'm going to go with 13 Months Haunted. Also too, look at the cover. It has a cracked CD case, and this is another book that I was wanting to read in October. So book number 4 is now 13 Months Haunted by Jimmy Giuliano. Let's pick prompt number 5 again, and let's go with this one. Book purchased because I was influenced by a booktuber. Okay, well that's everything, to be honest with you. Okay, let's see what I have. I have horror, general fiction, magical realism, and a spooky thriller on Halloween. So I guess we can do, I don't know. We can go, we have a lot of horror books and a lot of dark books, so we can go with something a little bit lighter. I don't know, guys. We could do the Matrimonial Advertisement by Mimi Matthews. This is going to be a historical romance. It is, I think, a clean romance, and it's about a woman who answers an advertisement for marriage. Not that long ago, I used to read a lot of historical romances, and one of my favorite tropes was a marriage of convenience, or something like this, where it's like a mail order bride. So this is an option. I think this would be a little sweet romance, and it's a clean romance. We could also do, I don't have any fantasy on here, we can do The Wolf King. This is popular right now. I think it just got picked up by a major publisher. And it says, when a princess is kidnapped by an alpha, war rages between the humans and the wolves, but soon a forbidden attraction starts to grow. I've heard this, there's 2 books out right now, and I have both of them. I think I first heard about this from Emmy Rossum and someone else. I feel like someone else read this too, but I was influenced by a booktuber for sure on this one. You know what? I kind of want to go with a romance to kind of lighten this load. So let's go with The Matrimonial Advertisement by Mimi Matthews. And this is going to be book number 5. Let's pick our very last prompt for book number 6. And let's go with this one. Oh my gosh, these are so hard to open. Okay, it says read a thriller. Well, that's perfect. Okay, we can go with, I kind of want to do this one. We can go with Suburban Hell by Maureen Kilmer. And this says a Chicago cul-de-sac is about to get a new neighbor of the demonic kind. And I can't remember where I first heard about this book, but then one of you, when I hauled it, one of you said you read it, and it was like, you said you really loved it and it got you back into reading. So we can do this one. It's a thriller. Another book we can do is one I got recently, and it is Dear Future Me. So apparently this is about a woman by the name of Audrey who, when she was in school, her teacher gave them an assignment to write a letter to their future selves. And it says 20 years later, they received those letters in the mail, or at least the students received those letters in the mail. And upon opening their letters, the now adult students are shocked to find that their envelope contained old secrets that threaten to expose the truth about a decades-old tragedy. I'm not going to read any more. And apparently it's a thriller that exposes the grief, guilt, and secrets hidden away in one little envelope. So we can do one of these 2 books. I think really that's all I have in terms of thrillers that I want to get to this month. And out of these 2 books, I think I'm going to go with Suburban Hell. It's a little bit shorter. I think it's under, yeah, it's about 317 pages, and this one's a little bit longer. So our very last book for October that I'm picking is Suburban Hell by Maureen Kilmer. I want to do a quick recap, but I got the books out of order, so I'm going to try my best to remember the order that I picked them. But the very first book I picked was Cackle by Rachel Harrison. The Other Side of Now by Paige Harbison. Not Quite Dead Yet, Holly Jackson. 13 Months Haunted, Jimmy Giuliano. Matrimonial Advertisement, Mimi Matthews. Suburban Hell, Maureen Kilmer. All right, my friends, these are the 6 books that I picked for the month of October. And again, I used my TBR prompt cauldron. And at the end of every TBR video, I always say that I am excited about my TBR. But to be perfectly honest, I cannot imagine a more perfect TBR for October. I think I did a banger job just because I have some spooky reads, I have some kind of spooky thrillers, and I really think this is going to be a fun TBR to read in October. And I think I'm gonna have to mood read some lighter reads because some of these are kind of dark and spooky. But let me know if you have read any of these books. Let me know what you thought about them, and also let me know which books you plan to read in the month of October down in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.